I Baby cakes. I was watching the stream on vacation, and Paul, the moment of bliss to realize I have a job on this show for the next 3 decades, hosting. I had to rewatch Paul and Mo open up the videos without me. Hi, this is Paul.
My name is Mo.
We welcome you in all over the world. I see you there. All the patrons that I love. If you're new, if this is your first patron-only live stream, pretty please with sugar on top. Put in the comments where you're from, where you're watching, what you're bailing out on to watch us. Are you supposed to be working right now and watching us? Are you supposed to be watching your kids and watching us? I'm supposed to be doing both right now, and I'm doing neither. I'm hosting this show. Paul and I have a wonderful dinner this evening.
With Tim.
With Timothy to discuss everything money.
Everything money.
And where we're headed, our ideas and ventures, and how this is going to be the biggest and best thing we've ever done in life, and how you guys are going to be a part of it. And so we welcome you in.
Adventures in babysitting.
Yes, we did some videos today.
Tim and I do.
What's coming out in the next few days, folks? We're going to look at Netflix. We looked at CCL. We visited CCL. We visited stock market crash warnings, not the clickbait kind, but the let's bring you, our viewers, some peace of mind, knowing that you have Uncle Paul moving forward and what we can expect and what we can do to prepare ourselves for the next correction. We talked about Little Book versus 8-Pillar versus ETFs, which is an interesting topic, and how they correlate with each other and can be used. And then we looked at, we looked at Tencent.
Yeah.
We're huge fans of Manish Pabrai. And he's in the first chapter of the book, Richer. But Paul, did you start the book, Richer?
Oh, of course. I'm on chapter 3. I'm reading it very slow, though. You know me, I like to read like 5 books at a time, so I don't finish a book for 2 months, and then I finish 8 in 1 week. So.
Yeah, I like doing slow, and I've switched now, Paul. As I listen to Audible while I read, and it kind of slows me down.
Oh, wow, that's a good idea.
Yes, I have someone else read me the book. And then get this, Mo, is I can pause Audible and make a note in Audible, like this is on page blah, blah, blah. And then the book, I put my little notes and then I make a little document. I'm really, guys, if you haven't gotten this book, Richer, Wiser, Happier, I am studying it like a college textbook. And Paul, I'll tell you what, you're not going to believe this. About halfway through the book, there's a guy named Latenzin or something. Anyway, he's a very, very disciplined guy. I mean, a hermit investor. And he said, Mo, in this one part, he said that he rewatched, guys, you got to see this. I'll post this in the Discord, that he watched Warren Buffett's a lecture from 1998 to the University of Florida. Mo, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. He said he watched this video on YouTube 15 times, read the transcript, and my mind, Paul, is melting listening to Warren Buffett just from this weird interview.
Why?
Just the things that he says, and just I took some notes somewhere.
Can you share the Discord right now?
Not at the moment because this isn't my computer, but I will. But the point is, folks, he just says some things the way you think about, the idea of that idea about losing money. Like Warren Buffett says, I go into this, not how much will I make, but I'm not going to lose anything. If I can't think to myself, I'm not going to lose. So
he has a thing where he calls the 2 rules of investing. Rule number 1 is don't lose money. Rule number 2 is don't forget rule number 1. I kind of hate it. It's actually it's one of the things that Warren Buffett says I actually don't like, because if the rule is don't lose money, then what's out there?
Well, I think he wants to be so sure about something.
I agree with you on that one, but I feel like that simplistic thing is a little exaggerated. But yes, his idea is, it's like Manish Pabrai writes in his book, The Dando Investor. Heads I win, tails I still win.
That's right.
I win a little bit less, and that's the goal of value investing. But unfortunately, it takes that discipline of saying, I'm okay only making 20 investments at a time. Warren Buffett also says investing should be like a punch card. You get 20 punches on your card, and you only make investments. You only take one away because you can never make another one after that.
And one of the pillars that Warren Buffett talks about is the idea of really knowing what you're investing in. And so, folks, if you've seen my portfolio and Seth's portfolio on the Discord, is that Paul, I talked to you today. I probably have some investments that I made sort of hair trigger decisions that I made after a great show where I fell in love with a stock. And quite frankly, I probably don't know what they do or why it goes up. I'm in curate mode.
Yeah,
I'm down to almost 17%. At this point, I'm kind of embarrassed maybe that I have it. Maybe I should just sell it and restart with like a basic, Manish Pabrai, a lot of these guys, they have 6. Warren Buffett says 6 stocks, Paul. I mean, like Costco, Amazon, Apple, stick to 6.
So every value investor has a different mentality.
Go on.
Ben Graham believed in diversification, have a lot of stocks. Warren Buffett and other value investors believe in have very few stocks, 5 to 10, but know them inside and out and buy them and be done. Same with like any sort of investment you do in real. And it's funny because we think about real estate, for example. We buy one home, don't we? We put all of our equity that we're going to buy in a home into that one home we buy, right? Mm-hmm. So the whole point I try to make is everybody has a different style. You got to find the style that works for you. If really you're willing to do amazing research to get a company going, to get into a company, then maybe you should only have 10. Me personally, I'm willing to do way more research than the average person, but not as much as somebody like Gary would do, my friend Gary Mashuris. So I'm okay owning 20 or 30 stocks at a time.
Okay.
Peter Lynch owned hundreds at a time, and he beat the markets by a lot. So it all depends on your style.
Well, anyway, guys, if you haven't got that book, I already feel like I'm talking about it too much, but we're going to keep talking and talking. I love it. And I don't love a lot of books, but I love that. So, folks, I want to welcome people in. B&O Fox, I love you. Guys, the phone app is out. If you didn't watch the show on Tuesday, go to your Android is not quite out yet, right, Tim?
Not because of us, because of Android.
Because of Android.
Literally put out the app and an update.
I see. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So what Tim is saying is that Apple iOS, we've already put out the app, which is on Tuesday, and a secondary update. So if you're on iOS, go back to the store, get your new update. It fixes that back button issue that we had some complaints about. And again, folks, literally, if you guys are proactive and let us know how we can improve, we literally get on the dev team and make the changes happen in as fast as we possibly can. So go in there and get the update. But yes, I welcome in other people. Someone from Israel, I don't know how to say that name.
Yeah,
but
I didn't even do that.
Palmer, it's great to see you here. Hassam, I really love Hassam. I see your new comments, and I love what you're saying.
I also want to make a comment.
Please do, Paul.
After you download the app, we want to earn a 5-star rating from you. If you can't give us a 5-star in good conscience because of some reason, email help@everythingmoney. In the subject, say 5-star issue or something like that, and let us know why. We might write back to you and say, listen, this is why. But it has to be an issue that's a real issue, not like, hey, I wish you would do this. That's not an issue. That's just a preference. I'm talking about something like, hey, guys, this thing is not working. Or there are whatever it is, but it has to be an issue and not a preference, right? So if you can give us a 5-star rating, we already have, yesterday we got 42 5-star ratings, which was awesome. We just want to build up, but don't just give it to us to give it to us. Make sure we've earned it, because I want to keep all of our developers honest. I want to keep Tim always achieving more and always achieving better, even though I know he would anyhow. But we want to earn the 5-star rating. All I ask is if you can't give us a 5-star rating, write us an email, let us know how we can fix it. And we might write back to you and say, listen, we're not going to do that. So if you need to give us a 4 or 3-star, we understand.
Or they might give us an amazing idea.
Like, you know what?
Right away.
Yep.
And for those of you out there, we think of a lot of ideas. We get a lot of idea suggestions from people. We can't possibly do all of them, but when we get them, if it's a new idea we haven't thought of, it goes into a list of what we're going to do at what time.
So in essence, folks, we say hello again. We also looked at Tencent, which will be coming out on Sunday. Tencent, one of the biggest companies. Maybe I already said this, but Manish Pabrai is a big fan of this. And we sort of tied in our thoughts on Alibaba again. And I think Paul is starting to crack a bit on the idea behind Alibaba. I think it might be a pretty...
Well, what am I cracking on?
I actually really want to see who does their books and who audits their books. That's like the big thing.
By the way, it has to be auditing books, not, hey, Ernst & Young does. No, it has to be who audits their books and where. Because Luke and Coffee, everybody's like, wait, Ernst & Young does it. It turns out when you read the actual words, they didn't audit the books. They did something else having to do with the books, or they were just their U.S. counterpart or something like that. It was still based on the information they gave them. We're talking about actual audit.
So if you're in the comments here, if you're a shareholder of Alibaba, let us know how you got over maybe any hesitations you might have had about investing in Chinese companies, because we still have some. And but boy, a lot of videos coming out about our stock analyzer tool shows Alibaba is definitely in the wheelhouse of purchasing right now. And so
yeah, it's definitely a good value play right now based on where Alibaba currently is and projected. And I did conservative numbers on growth. I only did 20% a year on the low end, and it was still selling at a good price. So Alibaba could be a good stock for us.
Anyway, and we'll keep going, guys. Beth, I see you there. I want to say hello to someone from Utah. Drefros, I love you. Cameron is always here. Michael, Ziggy, Samuel, thanks for joining us today, guys, as always. And Hassam holds Alibaba, great. Oh, yes. Now, folks, better news. We loved the feedback we got about Damon, the special guest host on Tuesday, and we are exploring options to maybe expand his presence on the show. That's a big maybe, but we'll see. And I am definitely, absolutely, 100% hiring Damon to give me and my child dance lessons, because I want to be able to dance like that. That was incredible at the end of the show. If you haven't seen it, that will be me in 6 months.
Did you like it?
Of course. I mean, the comments were just flying in. It was just incredible. So, and merch, we are actively discussing merch. I have an appointment to speak with the artist about creativity and what we're doing. So we might, folks, I might need some help with the merch. There are tons of ideas you probably have, and I'll be leaning on some patrons for some help in terms of getting some funny sayings. But yes, we are. Free poncho shirts are coming, and Paul bobbleheads. It's all going to happen, and it's going to be phenomenal. So okay, that is my take. That took a long time, Tim. I mean, that was a 10-minute spiel by me. But Paul, your thoughts?
What was it? So the first question I had asked me this today in the Paul Super Shorts chat was, how do you calculate moving averages? What do they mean? How do you use them? I do not use moving averages for my value plays. I only use moving averages. One of the simplest ways to trade is using moving averages. Now, what is a moving average? A moving average, let's say, for example, a 50-day moving average. So it's actually 50 DMA for 50-day moving average. It takes the last 50 days closing price, okay? And it gives you the average of that. So it adds them all together, then divides by 50. If the current price is, let's say, 26, and the 50-day moving average is 24, it's above the moving average. That's considered positive momentum. And if you actually look, and by the way, I'll put it up on Y charts. We don't have it in our software yet, but we will have it on our software soon, where we sit there and go, let's find, for example, Apple, just to make it easy. We go to our technicals, and we put a moving average in. Let's call it 50 and 100. So right here, the 50 is in blue, the 100 is in orange. If the price is above the 50 or the 100, it's considered positive momentum. Now, what a lot of traders will do is they'll pick two different ones, like 50 and 200 day moving average, and say when the price goes above one, they buy. When it goes by another, or they sit there and say, hey, when the 200-day moving average goes above the 50-day or the 50-day, do more research on it, because there's different strategies that work very well. But remember, whatever strategy you pick, stick with it. Do not deviate. The way you do worse in the market is by finding a strategy that works and then deviating from it. Okay? How many times have I wanted to shoot you, Seth, for what you did with EVIX,
in the
right?
face?
I probably shoot in the leg, because you're probably like, well, maybe the knee, because you're gonna. Anyhow, moving averages are a great way to trade. It's a great and simple way to do some momentum trading. We will be adding that to our software soon, where you'll be, when I say soon, sometime in the next 12 to 18 months, you'll be able to select a group of stocks and say, tell me when this moving average goes above this moving average. It's very simple. I don't know why some do that. Tim distracts me all the time when he loves what I say, and he goes like this, and it's so distracting, and it literally throws me off track. So whenever you see me pause like that.
I can take over. Speaking of sticking with trends, if you were in the employee trader chat 2 days ago, Mo, we went from a bunch of holds to one buy on Apple. I got in late, but can you update us, the employee traders on Apple? Because I got in.
Let's look at Apple right now.
2 days ago, and I'm feeling pretty good about it, Mo, so far, I think.
All right, so they're making all-time highs. Today's not bad. It's just kind of sitting there. But this whole go up, we're up 12.5%. We realized 12.5%. We took profits on yesterday, I think it was. Was it yesterday?
Did I miss something? Perhaps I did.
I think we took profits yesterday. All these days are running together. Yeah.
Yesterday.
Okay, so it was yesterday.
10:30.
Yesterday at 10:30 we took profits. So if we break out and get another engulfing candlestick like that to the top side, which I think is going to probably happen, we're just going to keep adding to Apple. So lock some gains in our pocket. Finally, this in Play Trader series is like taking off. It was just getting this thing going was very challenging.
Well, as you know, I've also cut off Paul's Super Shorts to new entrants unless it's an existing patron. Our Patreon is growing like crazy, and I hate, we should just refer to the software because we're getting off Patreon soon. You'll still be able to sign up through Patreon. However, if you convert to our software, you won't be charged a sales tax yet. Sales tax has certain rules in certain states and certain countries. All of our foreign people will not be charged. And in the states, the ones that do require it will be the ones that have a certain threshold of revenue. So a lot of people will be able to save a lot of money for at least a few months by switching over to our software, and it won't double charge people like it has in the past, et cetera. So when we do this, then we'll start opening up Paul Super Shorts again. But again, we want to make it exclusive. That way, it's not just something that when we have 500,000 subscribers, the group is 1,000 people. We don't want that. So keep sticking around. You guys know what it is. This thing's getting better and better. And some of you guys have been on, like, who's the earliest person?
Nick. He works for us, but now Nick.
Okay, so Nick was...
Nick was 1. Llewellyn was 5.
But Llewellyn's not on right now, is he? But Nick is. Nick is on.
Oh.
You know, Mo, I must have missed.
Spicer was
I must have missed the boat on Apple because I must have missed the sell-off because I see it going up yesterday to 149.15.
Yeah,
now
it's
it's
just
back down today.
It's just pulling back a little bit.
What's Spicer number 2?
I think it was like number 8. But this is good on Apple because because it's still you still have the uptrend and it's just starting to go sideways, and you need to create, like, we can't just have a total run up. It has to pull back a little bit. So hopefully today's that run up, and then it goes like this on Monday or Friday. So it's just creating that W formation to make this thing go higher, hopefully.
So stay in. I'm okay.
I would. I mean, did you add today?
No.
When?
2 days. Yesterday I added at 147. I added at 147.
Okay.
You said add it, and I set a stop at 142, like you said.
Okay. You must have missed the
Yeah, because I see
tweet
yesterday it was 149. I missed
Yeah,
it.
that's when I said
Yeah,
take
that's
profits.
right. That's what
Okay.
I missed. Okay, I need to get on that better. Oh, when I was traveling yesterday, that's
Yeah.
why. All right, guys.
And Laura got my attention by telling me I look thinner in this shirt.
Do you?
Even though this is the shirt I always wear, but it's great. Thank you. I told Laura, I'm like, way to get my attention by telling me I look thinner, and now I'm focusing on that.
I love it. All right, what else, guys? Questions coming in.
Okay,
did we-
Spicer was number 2.
Is that true?
I don't know. He said according to Patreon. I have no idea.
Okay. Great. I don't know how it tells us that.
Samuel's asking, how do we get buy and sell alerts? I guess, Mo, that'd be a question I would have too for the employed trader. I need to.
I mean, anytime I do something where it says buy or sell, usually I update it at 2 to 3 o'clock, somewhere in that range. If you ever get an alert outside of a 2 to 3 o'clock range, it's probably something to do something right now.
I can alert Discord to let me know when you talk.
Yes, you can. But I think you'd want to turn on the notifications for that specific chat. Yeah, just turn it on for that chat because you'll get blown up if you just start flagging my
got it.
tweets.
So Juan Acosta is moving to Albuquerque. I asked this question: what major company's first headquarters was in Albuquerque? It has since moved. I'm only going to allow 5 seconds for guess.
I think I got it.
You know it because I think I've asked you before. 1, 2, 3,
Looney Tunes?
4, 5. Microsoft.
Yeah.
Oh, Gary got it.
Gary got
Gary
it.
got it.
Oh, Juan, there you go.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, it was
Samuel,
Microsoft.
the alerts are not on Patreon, right, Mo? The
No,
Employee Trader series
they're
are
on
part
Discord.
of Discord.
Yeah, just go to the little tab that says Employed Trader and play with the settings in there.
Okay.
It was Microsoft. That's where they started. Then they moved. In fact, our first secretary stayed in Albuquerque. Imagine if she'd moved to Seattle with them. Her stock options probably
Yeah.
worth just tons of money. But anyhow, I'm sure she still got some stock. All right, so you get a Tesla, Gary. Yes.
Yep, congrats.
Yeah, this has been going great, guys. I love it. What other questions do we have?
Keep them coming, everybody. This is good. Yep, if you're joining us now and you have iOS, Apple, you go and get your update. We updated the software since it came out on Tuesday, so go ahead and grab the new update to fix some of the bugs. And now we're patiently waiting for you guys to ask us killer questions because we love you.
I mean, we're averaging now 40 signups a day on the software. It's incredible. And you guys got in early at such a good price. It's unbelievable. Even people sign up today, don't worry. You'll be looking a year from now going, oh my God, thank God I signed up for it when I did. 2 years from now, it'll be $50 a month at least.
Well, I think we sparked some interest on Tuesday. Value Nerd is asking, can we talk about selling puts and covered calls, Paul, about options?
Oh yeah, it sounds great. So what do we want to talk about?
Well, explain it to me.
Value Nerd.
Yeah, explain it to me like I'm a fifth grader, the whole process again. We have so many new people joining us all over. And I think we want to get, we've had discussions about getting options on the app at some point. And so talk about your mindset, Paul.
Oh, I should have said crap. Look at that.
What's up?
All these comments coming in. Okay, so what was the first thing we're doing?
Just options in general.
Okay, so what I do is I sell two different kind of options. I sell puts and calls. On the calls, I sell what's called a covered call. All that means is it's covered because I already own the shares. So if I own a company that's currently selling for $30 a share, I might do 1 month out and sell a covered call for like $34 strike. And I'll collect something like 30 cents. So that's 1%. And if it goes above 34, I get all the profit between 30 and 34, and I keep the 30 cents, but I then lose the shares, right? Very simple. Now the goal is I just keep rewriting this over and over and over again and keep making money and adding to my return. I do it on so many stocks. Hopefully when I have a portfolio of 30 or 40 stocks, I do it on all of them. And the ones that actually go over, I just get rid of the options, take my loss, and it's offset by the gains in the other ones. And that way I'm adding more income to my portfolio. That's all I'm doing.
Do we want to pull up CCL since it's fresh and a couple of people are asking about it, the options on CCL that we found this morning?
So that's a put. I'm going to explain puts now.
Go ahead.
The covered call has been taken away from me before. I used to have Southwest stock. And when it started to go up and up and up and up, and I was like, listen, this is getting too high, I started selling covered calls at when the stock was at 44, 45, I sold at 47. The stock went to 50, I lost my shares at 47. I was fine with that though, because I thought the company was worth around 50 or 60 bucks a share, and it hadn't even started really rebounding in terms of air traffic. So I said, you know what? I'm okay losing the shares at this point. So I moved on from them. It's just part of my strategy of how I invest. It generates income. Nodding is the same as doing this, Tim. I'm being a dick. I'm sorry. It's this. Here's Tim going like that. Here's what Tim went from. He went from this to this.
Headbanging?
Yes.
Yes, it's 30 cents per share, C. Arndale. Yep, 30 cents per share.
What is?
You were talking about the
as an example. I was just showing an example.
Sure,
I was making an example. I don't know what it is. But I collect premium. It adds to my return. It provides income for me. And I do believe that if you do it the right way, you can add 4 to 5, 6% a year to your returns overall if you do it the right way. Don't pick deltas. Delta's the chance of it happening. I pick deltas around 0.1 to 0.2, which is 10 to 20% of it happening. If you have 30 or 40 stocks, it's going to happen between 3 and 8 different stocks, but hopefully the other 25 or 30 will offset those, and you do all these things, and you just generate more income.
Mo, who are the people who are ready to move into options or on this feed and they're watching? Who are the right type of investors to move into options?
Well, definitely, just from a capital standpoint, you have to have 100 shares of stock. So it's not for the person that's investing. Well, you have to have some money to be able to do this. Now, also understand what you're doing first. And this whole thing is just repetition. Just watch over and over what Paul just said. That's basically how you're going to understand this. It took 4 or 5 times for me to really understand like what we're doing here, because it's kind of counterintuitive. But I do think it comes down to a capital thing, then an understanding thing, then you can go ahead and
like we're talking $10,000, $20,000 at least 20.
Yeah,
I mean, it's 100 shares. The average company is what?
Anything you can buy lots of 100 shares of.
Now, Damon the other day was explaining how you can do the poor man covered call. Yeah. I didn't learn how to do that. I'm sure there's a way to do it when you have less than 100 shares, but the bottom line is there are ways to synthetically have more shares in a company and sell covered calls on them. So the other option is selling puts. Now, why do we sell puts? Selling puts is great because let's say you have a company that's selling for $50 a share. And you sit there and say, you know what, I really want this price, I really want this company, but I'm only going to buy it for $45 a share. You would sell somebody the option, it's called selling a put, that at $45 a share at some point in the future, at some date in the future, that says if it goes to 45 or below, you can force me, you can put the shares in my hand at $45, right? So if before that date, if on that date it goes to $40 a share, you might be like, oh my God, I should have waited. Well, no, if you really believe that you're going to buy it at 45, it's no different than buying it at 45 and it going to 40, except the difference is you accepted some sort of premium. Let's say it was 50 cents for that. You at least got 50 cents for waiting. So basically selling puts is being paid to wait for stock to go to the price you want it to go. I do that in combination with selling covered calls, and I believe I can make 4 to 6% extra a year. If I only make 2 or 3% extra, it's still an insane amount of money. There are other people who believe you can make 10 or 12% extra per year. I probably am not willing to do the kind of deltas that are required for that. If I did like probably 30 or 40% deltas.
Yeah, when we were talking to Damon, he said he was in the 30 to 40 range.
He thought he was conservative.
And it was funny, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm pretty conservative. It's 30 to 40." I was like, "Oh."
And by the way, remember Evan said the same thing. He's like, "Yeah, at 0.15, it's not happening." I'm like, "Well, no, at 0.15, it's happening 1 every 6 times."
It's happened to me.
Yeah, it's happened to me.
Yeah.
Like I just got an email. I did a covered call on HR Block. I just got an email from Merrill Lynch today. Paul, you're probably going to lose your H&R Block shares tomorrow. I go, I'm fine because it was at a price. It was at $25, whatever it was. I'm like, get rid of it.
It's funny. I wrote covered calls on my dad's Apple position, and they expired last Friday. It was $140. That was the strike price. It finished at $139.96, and that delta was 5%.
Oh wow, really?
So it happens.
Are you laughing at what Mo just said, or something he just said?
Oh, of course, the chats are lame.
And his Gary jokes.
Yes.
And I love them.
Longshot is right. Longshot is making videos on his YouTube channel. He's using Everything Money software, which we love seeing. So go over to Longshot and give his videos a look, and that's great.
Gary?
Go ahead, Mo.
Gary, there's times when I'll call Gary and he'll be like, "Yeah," I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm driving up to go for a hike or something, and I'm listening to this this quarterly value or earnings call." I'm like, "Oh, sounds fun."
He loves that stuff. Just like we love the number.
But somebody just said, Gary downloads quarterly reports straight to his head. Yeah, he basically does.
And especially big lots.
But that's the thing, guys. You gotta, if you do your due diligence, especially if you're going into small cap companies and micro cap companies like Gary goes into, you have to be able to.
The smaller the company, the more due diligence you have to do on it. You have to really be getting in the weeds there, because what's more likely to go out of business, a $30 million company or a $30 billion company? I think we'd all agree.
Donnie Ortega saying, can we look at Big Lots? We just did Big Lots, and we did stock analyzer for Big Lots just a couple weeks ago, I think, perhaps.
Yeah.
Well,
Definitely did big lots. I don't remember.
Danny, the joke about Big Lots is at $11 a share, I wanted to buy it. I talked to my friend Gary, and he said something that made me go, okay, fine, I'm not going to buy it. And now it's at like $1 billion a share.
Yep.
So, love Gary.
Other people want your thoughts on CCL, Paul, not only for, I guess not for options, maybe I misread. But
It's
more.
tanking. The stock is tanking. I'm selling puts on it at lower prices. I have no problem holding on to it. I still think even with the dilution, it's worth $40, $50 a share. But obviously keep track of the dilution. If it keeps getting more and more and more, you have to keep discounting the shares in percentage to what the dilution is. So if they increase their dilution by 50%, you should decrease your value by 1/3. Isn't that correct? Yes, I believe so. Yes. I believe that's, so it's not exactly 50. So if it increases by 50%, that's 1/2. You should dilute by 1 over that number plus 1. So they increase their percentage by 33%, that's 1/3. Then your value is 1/4 lower. I think that's the math.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure that's the math. Let's see if I'm right. $20 in profit on 20 shares would be $1 a share. If they went to 30 shares, it'd be 0.66. So 0.66 is 1/3 lower. Yep, I was right.
David is doing a very early call for the No Thighs, No Peace campaign. So we'll get to that later. Let's see. Ryan's asking for back testing strategies. Let's see, guys. Sorry.
We're going to have back testing software on our system as time goes on. Guys, this is going to be extremely, extremely valuable. It's so hard to find good backtesting software. Even the Bloomberg terminal that costs us $2,700 a month or whatever it was.
No, $30,000 a year.
So $2,500 a month. Their backtesting strategy software was pretty good, but not amazing. We always had a lot of issues when it came to.
An issue. It was always backtest, go chat with customer service.
So backtesting is a very hard thing to do. We're going to work on it as time goes on.
What is
backtesting?
Backtesting is basically like, okay, I'm going to pick this way of buying, and let's go test it over the last 30 years and see how it would have done.
Should we spend $30 million on it, like Roblox?
He probably had very expensive developers, and he's probably exaggerating it a little bit. My guess is it's not exactly $30 million, because I don't know how that cost him $30 million to. When he says $30 million, I have no idea how it cost him $30 million. How did it cost him that?
I don't know. I'm sure we could build it for far less.
We just did a video on. The the idea of a little book analysis versus, little book stock picking versus a pillar versus ETF. Dustin saying I came into a little bit of money. How do we dollar cost average? I mean, the point of the video is we do, obviously, Paul always recommends that, we put 80 to 90% of our money in an ETF, and I've created my own ETF with the little book. Some of you have been following along. And so, but in essence, the stock market will always, the video describes, in essence, the stock market will always give you that 10% return. There may be some up, then so the dollar cost averaging, Paul, is, if you can reiterate, I'm just fumbling all over myself, is we're going to be buying it when it's overpriced, buying when it's underpriced, but in the end, we'll always go up. So someone's asking, what do I do with some money? It's just start putting it in, right? The earlier, the better. Wouldn't you say, Paul?
Yep, absolutely. The sooner you start, the better it is. Stick to a process. Buy every month the same funds that are very diversified, and over the long period of time, you will do very, very well. Somebody asked if they could get help from me one-on-one for mentoring or coaching. Guys, $2,500 an hour. Or join the Highest Paul Super Shorts chat, $3,000. Email help@everythingmoney.com. It's a one-time fee every single year of $3,000. You don't get one-on-one with me, but you can message in our Discord. And throughout the day, I check the Discord and I respond and all that stuff. So I don't do one-on-one mentoring. We used to offer that. It's just, I do much better with groups because I like to build a community kind of aspect to it. And it's hard for me to charge $2,500 an hour, but that's really what I value. Because I look at you going, if you want my time, I have to take away from something else. What's that something else? Doing whatever I want. I very much value doing whatever I want because I already have enough stuff and money. I don't need to do more. So that's why I put the $2,500. I actually think $2,500 is probably a good deal for my time. But of course, nobody's ever thought their stuff was bad, right? Their time was worth very little. So anyhow, my OnlyFans page is $2,500 an hour. I don't blame you. I'm hearing some very low frequency static. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, I'm trying to hear it now. Mo, what's going on in the morning show? How are things going? Paul, will you check it? Come over here and let me check your battery real quick while Mo talks about the morning show.
Morning show every day, 9 a.m. to 9:30. Talk about the news of the day. We'll do some stock trading, etc. But I was just talking about with them at lunch. I want some of you guys to start coming on the show. Maybe not in a live capacity, but a pre-recorded capacity where you talk about how you like it, your trading experience, how much you make, how much you lose, this and that. So I think it would be a good addition to the show to hear from you guys. You don't have to just listen to me ramble about your guys' wins and losses. But there's people, like yesterday, they were like, Cash, he said that he's 6 months from financial independency, which is incredible. There's people that have paid 3 to 4 years of their Patreon membership and a couple trades here and there. So I'm glad it's helping you guys. That's all I got to say about that.
Mo always closes strong, as you know. If you're a lover of Mo, it's a this and that. They're calling for this and that T-shirts, Mo, because it's just a lot of this and that. Yeah. So, what is ARC? What is the ticker symbol ARC?
I don't know.
What is this nonsense? ARC. ARC Document Solutions? Is this it, guys? That's the ticker symbol.
$84 million company. That's it. That's a small company, guys. Free cash flow last year at $51 million. Average the last 5 years. What the F is going on here? Oh boy, look at that revenue.
Good or bad?
It is falling like a mug.
Like a flying crowbar?
Their revenue, their free cash flow and their profit is not adding up. Their free cash flow the last 5 years has averaged $43 million, and their earnings over the last 5 years have averaged negative.
What is this nonsense? Why do you guys want this?
Probably because of the PE. Not the PE, the price of free cash flow.
Nonsense?
I mean, look at this free cash flow stuff. This free cash flow is insane.
Oh, I see. 51 mil free. Sorry about that. 51 mil free cash. Market cap 84 mil. Paul, you make this in your sleep. 84 mil.
That's true. I charge that to the patrons whenever they want one-on-one.
Yes, that's right. 84 mil an hour. Do you want to keep going on this puppy?
No. I look at it going, man, that's an interesting one.
Did the Peloton video go out, Tim? At 1? Yeah? I mean, folks, if you're not looking at these thumbnails that I'm making, we are busting up at some of the crazy bullshit that I come up with on these thumbnails. And the Peloton one has Paul on the Peloton and then creepily looking in on the stretching woman in the window, and we got a doozy for it coming here the next couple days. Wait, the Garmin tonight at 7 p.m.
Give a Garmin.
The Garmin tonight is going to be off the chain. It's Paul and I, and it's incredible. And so,
this question about the 90-day T-bills, how would you purchase them? I mean, you could purchase them, but I look at it as you're getting 0.06% right now, and the risk of it going to zero or negative is a lot more real than it going up at this point, I think. So to me, I'm not buying 90-day T-bills. I used to. Paul used to. Remember when you were in them with Merrill and you were paying them?
Yeah, what were you saying? What you say don't do it? Why?
Right now, I mean, it's so close to zero, it could get back to that point.
So what does that matter?
I'm not paying the government to hold my money.
But that's not the point of it.
Yeah, but you're making basically nothing on your money.
Why does that matter?
Because why don't you just sit in cash?
Because where does cash sit? Money markets, right?
Yeah.
Money markets have risk. The 90-day Treasury is less risky than money markets. You got to remember, guys, money markets are only as good as the companies who back them. Like back in 2008, there were Lehman money markets that when Lehman collapsed, your cash went down 70%. You have no risk basically on a 90-day Treasury. Why? Because
it's not no risk, but
what's the risk?
Oh, the government goes bye-bye.
If the government goes bye-bye, all your money markets go to zero. The government's going to pay back their debt way sooner than anything else. I disagree with Mo on this one. I think the 90-day Treasury is about, there's virtually no interest rate risk. Why? Because interest rate fluctuations, the biggest factor involved with it is time. That's why on a 30-year Treasury, on a 30-year Treasury, a 1% interest rate risk could change the value by 50%. But on a 90-day Treasury, just hold it out to the end of the thing. Even if interest rates go to 100%, just hold the 90-day Treasury until day 90 and you get all your money back. There's very, very little interest rate risk. I think I once did the numbers. Something like going from 1% to 15% of 90-day Treasury only lost you 5% of your capital. I just look at 90-day Treasuries as the way to go. That's the way I do. I don't like money markets nearly as much as 90-day Treasury. And again, I'm being extreme, but again, in a cash crunch, companies use money markets in order to fund their business. You're only as good as the company backing up your money market. So to me, 90-day Treasury is the way I sit. Another guy does that too. What's his name? Warren Buffett.
These next two questions tie into each other. Mattia is asking, Seth, what am I doing with MSGN? I'm getting my ass kicked, Paul. I'm down 18% on MSGN. And Samuel's asking, how do you get out of a hype stock that you're bag holding?
Yeah,
do you
I don't know.
Sell?
I never know how to answer that question.
Well, tell me. I'm in this bullshit right now.
I have no idea. I mean, if you're comfortable taking the loss, just take the loss. But
what is comfortable taking the loss mean?
I don't know. I don't even know how to answer people's questions. Like if somebody came in the Bid and Ask Nation the other day and he DM'd me and he said, every single stock that you see on Stock Most thing, and I'm down on Audible, what do I do? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I literally don't know what to tell you.
The right thing to do is, if you were to buy, would you buy the stock today at the current price? If the answer is no, then you sell it. That's the easiest way to do it. You might take a loss, but remember, just because you have a gain or a loss doesn't mean it's a good investment. That money's already gone. What your goal is to invest the money at the right levels. At the right levels right now, keep it. If the right level's not right now and it still has further to go based on your value, you get rid of it. To me, if I bought Tesla at 900 and went to 650, I'm not waiting for 900 to get back before I sell. I'm gonna sit there and say, listen, 650, because I think there's more downside risk on 650 and Tesla than there is on Alibaba. So I'd rather go put the money in Alibaba or something like that, right? Or Intel. That's the point.
Yeah, Mattia's saying MSGN just got acquired by MSGE. MSGN financials look good. MSGE does not. Other people saying, I've lost $400 on the trade. And so I guess, Paul, when it's, now it's going down as I speak. I guess the point is, maybe if I just, would losing $400 but gaining peace of mind be the trade-off? It was like, I'm kind of going back to what Warren Buffett says.
Peace of mind is very big, but find the process for better peace of mind. Use this as a learning lesson. Like to me, if you decided, like, you know what, I'm not in the hype stocks anymore, get rid of them. If you're not in a hype stocks anymore, why hold on to them?
Just take the loss and move on.
If your process has now changed and you found a new way to invest, like with us, like our process, then change it. Get rid of the hype stocks. I'm not gonna, but do what makes you feel comfortable. But at the same point, the right thing financially to do is evaluate the stock. If you wouldn't buy it at today's price or anywhere close to it, get rid of it. Even if you have a loss, just move on, get rid of it. If it's a short-term loss, you get to write it off your income. You're fine. You'll get some sort of tax write-off. If it's a long-term loss, you have to write off your long-term gains. You'll at least get something back for that. But in the meantime, buy a stock that you feel comfortable with at the price you feel comfortable with it at. Right now, I don't know of any hype stocks that I sit there and go, yes, I'd buy it at this price.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes them hype.
So maybe just sell this off, this Madison Square Garden BS. It was a little book stock for me, did well.
Yep.
Then it didn't.
Stick with it. If it's in your little book, the
I'm sorry. This is outside of my little book.
Oh, okay. Then you don't feel comfortable. Don't keep it.
Okay.
Guys, whenever you have any investment decision to make, you have to ask yourself, would I own this stock today at this price? If the answer is no, why do you still hold it? If the answer is, I wouldn't, but it's pretty close, then keep it. If you have no other options out there that are good options, if you have other but I like these 3 other companies, sell it, move on. But if there's a lot of risk in the downside of the stock, even if you don't have any other options, I look at it going, I'd rather make 0 than potentially lose 30%.
Yeah, so
Because 0 is better
messaged
than
me
negative
yesterday.
30.
He was like, "Hey, I started with 55,000, then I started listening to these hype guys, and now I'm down to 23,000. I still hold all the positions. What do I do?" I'm like, "Oh, wow."
Well, I also saw a message the other day where somebody said, "Thank God I don't listen to you idiots." All right.
that's true. So MSGE free cash flow over the last 3 years is minus 15 million, minus 212, minus 650. Their market cap is currently $2 billion. This is looking a lot like Palantir. They don't make jack shit. So all right, maybe I'll just punt on this one and put it in a better place. I think, folks, the more I read that book, Richer, Wiser, Happier, is I definitely got into some stocks. Even while hosting this show, I got into some stocks because I probably wasn't, obviously, Paul, I wasn't as disciplined as I am today. I mean, I hope, as we're all growing in this. And I probably got into this because I thought I liked it, but I don't really have a grand understanding of why I liked it. So I might get out right now just while we're here on the show because this is pissing me off even more than I think about it. And all that comes down to happiness, right, Paul?
Well, we always do everything based on what we justified there as opposed to, it's all about process. A better process will make you calmer. I don't know what's going on with this, how this acquisition and merger affects their financials. It could affect you have to go look at that. Like, okay, let's look at the company together now. How does it look as a whole company together? Looking at its past, they weren't together in the past, were they?
I'm sorry?
They weren't together in the past. I mean, I'm looking at these revenue numbers going 245, almost $1 billion, then 77 million. This doesn't even make sense to me. So let's go look at them together as a company because MSGE acquired the shares, right?
I think so.
So go look at them together as a company and see what the new company looks like.
Yeah.
If a company let's put it this way, and I'm not saying this is the case here. If company A loses $10 a year, company B makes $100 a year, would you pay $200 for the new company that's company A when it merges together? By itself, would you? Absolutely not. Together, would you? Absolutely. Because now it makes $190, it makes $90, and you just pay $200 for it. The combined companies make 100, lose 10, $90 net, you pay 200 for it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that's the way it is here, but something major has happened. There was an acquisition and merger. That was a major event. Mm-hmm. Go look at the companies together. Don't just assume because company A sucked before, it's going to suck again. In all likelihood, it will suck again, but you don't know. And if you own the shares, you might as well at least go understand the new company with everything together.
You think you should do all that or just sell it and move on? I know what you're saying. I'm
if you don't want to do the work, don't do the work. Sell it.
I want to get out of some of these companies I didn't know why I was in.
Great, then do it.
Sell all shares. Okay.
You just do that right now?
Yes. And we're done. Okay, fuck that. Okay, now, what else is people saying? Oh, this is great. I love hearing these stories, guys. Colin said, I got my hair cut today. He thinks his barber learns from Meet Kevin. He named every hype stock that he's in, and he started to do options, but he couldn't tell me what kind of options he was doing, Mo. Sounds like a great plan.
Actually, it's a great plan.
Paul,
plan.
I see you guys asking, but Paul, what about this company that I was telling you guys about? Good Lord. What is this InMode? When did we talk about this? Can you pull this up, Paul? Because
what's the ticker?
INMD.
This is the one you like.
Yeah, I have 25 shares of InMode. Don't know why. I can't remember. But look at this, up 139%. What the heck?
You're
happened?
up 139% on it?
I am. InMode. INMD. What is this? And why am I in it? And
Non-invasive surgical, aesthetic, and medical treatment solutions in the U.S. When did you buy it?
I bought it when it was
I didn't ask you what is that? What was it? When was it?
Fidelity doesn't give me a date.
What?
Yeah, they do.
They have to give you a date.
No, it just tells me what price I bought.
What price you buy it at?
$42.
So probably around end of November and early December.
That's when I probably didn't know what I was doing yet.
Okay.
So how does it look now? Oh wow, look at that. $4 billion market cap, $100 million in free cash. Did I just get lucky on this one, Paul?
Maybe so.
Mo, how's it look over there?
I mean, to me, I look at it like I was looking at it and
I
thinking,
see what it is.
Should you sell it? Because that's probably the question you're about to ask me. And these are your all-time highs right here.
I'm not buying it at this level. I would sell it.
Sell?
Yeah, gapped up. So that gap will probably fill.
Let's go see what the options look like on it.
This will probably
quick.
start rolling down. So if it was me, I mean, if I'm up 150% on something, I'm probably selling it.
The balance sheet looks awesome. The cash flow is probably great. It was probably one of those things where it was selling for you know,
140% ago? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not okay. This turned into Seth's live review. But okay. Paper hands, Jay Wang. Yeah. Of course.
That's the guy who makes the videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jay Wang?
Yeah.
Oh, my man. Oh, my gosh. So, Seth video. That'd be great. So what Jay Wang is doing is taking our faces and then putting them on. Mo, you do look like Xerxes from 300.
Isn't that funny?
We got to get that cooking.
You know, another option, Seth, is write a covered call on it at 105 for August. Now, the downside risk is it goes lower, but you're collecting $5 in premium per. How many shares do you have?
I only have 25 shares.
Oh, forget it. Sell it.
So, okay.
Isbaz just made a very interesting point. He said have Damon react to Chris Sane about the options, because that's what Chris Sane talks about is options.
He
Maybe.
didn't even know when we watched that one. He didn't know the difference of putting the call.
Yeah, and he was telling,
Yeah, it's not very exciting to me.
yeah, maybe.
We have got a lot of thoughts and requests to react to Chris Sane. And at some point, folks, we think the reactions...
Did we post that Chris Sane video?
No, and I think, unfortunately, folks, sometimes the reactions can be so harsh.
Guys,
that
I
it's
think
not
Chris
even...
Sane, I think Chris Sane is an absolute...
There's not even... It's not...
I can't even put in a word. He is dumber than Stock Mo. I mean, he's absolutely an idiot. He has no idea what he's doing. He is going to lose lots of money. He is going to be hurt very badly. Anyone who listens to him is going to be hurt very badly. The guy is a moron.
It's literally like one of
Is
these
he
things
dumber
like...
than Stock Mo? Maybe not.
I cannot...
Yeah.
It's like we actually
dumber than
hesitate
Stock Mo.
making fun of someone that I might not even quite understand what they're doing in this world.
At least
that's our hesitation.
I don't know if Stockmo talks about options, and if he doesn't, at least he doesn't try.
He likes 15-minute charts.
He likes 5-minute charts for a long-term investment. Yeah.
Well, okay, I'm selling. I got some. See,
This guy said Chris Sane is worse. I came from there. I want to know, BNO Fox, when you watched him for the first time, and what was like, yeah, this guy sounds legit. I mean, I looked at him and I was like, this guy's a moron, but maybe I come from a different place. But I would like to know what attracted you to that. What made you think that he was correct? Looking at these penny stocks
if you're just learning,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I want to know his answer.
I'm sure BNO is like, listen, remember,
That's why I wanna know.
BNO probably sat there and said, when he heard our video, goes, this makes sense to me. Okay, then it made sense to him, right? You know, it probably just took very quickly. That's what a lot of people have. Then a lot of people listen to us and go, you guys are stupid. Okay.
Yeah.
At least we have a process.
Yeah.
And
That's
I'm
why
not saying, the reason I make fun of the others is there's no process
But it's
there.
also funny that he can go to a guy like Chris Sane and be like, yeah, this makes sense. Then come to us and be like, yeah, this makes sense. So obviously,
No, I don't
he has
think-
something in his mind that this makes sense to him. So what made that make sense?
well,
Like, what attracted
Probably a
him to it?
lack of experience in the whole area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When you have no experience in it,
if you know nothing,
Yeah.
and you type in the words,
Yeah.
and Stock Mo is like the third video that pops
Let's
up.
put it this way.
Well, that's good. I want to hear from him.
Here's an example. When I first did my first house I ever owned, I did the interior, I did the furniture myself. I'm like, man, look how good I am at this. And then I met Lisa, and I'm like, oh my God, look how terrible I am at this, right? And now I make fun of other designers when I see their work. I'm like, that's crap, that's crap, that's crap, that's crap, right? It's just the same thing. Just because you believe in something, if you have no guiding light, and all of a sudden you see one, you're going to gravitate to it. Now he's getting more and more. BNO might sit there and realize in a few months that he doesn't like us. I will never criticize anybody that has a process that has been proven that works, as long as they stick to that process. problem I have with Meet Kevin, Stock Mo, Chris Sane, Kathy Woods, all those people, they have no process. They claim they do, but they have zero process. What was that?
Keenan. He's pretty entertaining.
Oh, Keenan was
Who's
entertaining.
Keenan?
Was it Keenan Grace?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Keenan Grace. I don't really remember him as well.
Oven mitts.
Oven mitts and Bammy.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys.
Did you see what Matt Jones wrote?
Oh, he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's funny. He goes, all the hype YouTubers make a lot of sense to me. Everything money confuses me. That's how I knew Amra's right. That's not true. That shouldn't be the case. If we confuse you, that's a problem. We should speak.
No, but I think the first couple times you hear something, it's learning.
I try to make money fast.
Yeah, but I feel like I explain things in a very simplistic way, like cash flow. Like, okay, guys, if I'm going to give you $1 of cash flow every year for the future, what are you willing to pay for it for? That's it. That's all we're talking about here.
I had to sit down and talk with Matt Jones this week about merch and some ideas. He's helping me because he's so hilarious. I mean,
Yeah, he's funny.
yeah, I'll get Beaker on the train too. Okay, guys. Paul, it says I have an open order with. It says I have an open order on INMD. I must have an option I'm not looking at. So, I have a appointment with Fidelity very soon because I think their option tradings platform on Fidelity is horrific. And it just shows that I don't even know what open orders I have because it's very hard to dig out of their software. So okay, we'll keep going on that. Paul, do you want to talk about your thoughts about Fireside? We have a lot of questions about Firesides.
Chats?
Have we not discussed that yet?
So we talk about the Firesides, but we're also switching to more exclusive content. We're trying to decide, do you guys like the Fireside chat? That's the first thing. Do you guys like them?
Are you asking me or that?
No, I'm asking them.
Okay.
Let these 100 people vote. 105 vote.
Yeah.
105.
Throw up
Say yes or no.
thumbs up emoji if you like it.
Oh, wait, I can create.
Well, we can also put a poll
I
in
got a poll
Discord.
right here. How about this? Let's do this. Continue Fireside.
Are you doing it in Discord?
No, I'm doing it right here.
No, do Discord.
Well, okay, we just.
Do it here.
Yeah, here,
poll
look
guy.
at this. I'm gonna see if this works actually.
Yeah.
Oh, here. Oh, look at this. Continue Firesides. Here we go. We got a poll open
Oh,
right
wow.
now.
I didn't know they had it. That happened.
Yeah, there we go. So let's start clicking
Oh,
right
I'm
now.
sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I just wanted to see this. Okay, let's see how this goes, and we'll open this up a little bit. Alphonse so here comes a barrage.
19 votes so
First
far.
vote. Of course, Longshot got the first vote. Of course, he's always very competitive with his commenting and all that. So, I think a lower. Oh yes.
I don't think the lower tier will revolt because if the lower tier revolts, they don't see the value they're getting for what they're getting, then I don't know what to say. Listen, I don't want to.
Software?
What was that?
8 to 12
Guys, I think the extra content we're going to give you alone is worth 80 cents a day. Forget about even the software. Forget about stock. Any of the stuff we're doing. It's just, come on, this is a no-brainer. We're at 44 votes.
I think you've expanded this by saying we do need to go live for all the patrons at some point, not just the top tiers, of course.
Well, the Fireside is for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, maybe doing even more Firesides per month, basically, right? Like
Oh, it's overwhelmingly support for
Firesides.
For Fireside.
Okay.
All right.
Did you see what Spicer just wrote?
Speaking of what isn't revolting, it's those.
By the way, Mo, you don't have to be on the Fireside chat. It could just be Seth and I.
Yeah. They're boring.
Look at him. He's like so depressed right now.
They're boring.
Well, he said he wasn't
They're so
feeling
boring.
good. He said he wasn't feeling good. So,
All right.
Andre, I'm sorry. When Paul and I and Tim first started this channel and it got going, we decided to do a once a month sort of uncensored long form sit down with Paul and I. Then Mo got on. We started calling this a fireside chat because we were at Paul's house. And so it's just an uncensored. Everyone gets off of the main, like big show on Tuesdays. And we just do like a Patreon only sit down and chat. We like them. We get dinner. We have them. And it looks like you guys like them as well. So we're just going to take this into
I
consideration.
think it's a fun time for all of us to get together for dinner too.
It is. So let's just keep going and just.
Great. So when's our one for July going to be?
We'll have to look. We will announce that. We'll have to look.
We'll set it tonight.
Mo will be there, and then the girls.
Well, Mo doesn't have to be there.
The
If Mo doesn't
women
want to
come
be there, he
over
doesn't be
and-
there.
23rd.
Yeah.
Next Friday.
Let's do the next Friday.
The 23rd.
Yeah. Let me look here. I didn't want to. Let's look here. I might be out of town.
23rd.
I might be out of town.
Why are you out of town?
Well, because tomorrow I was
Today, Junior.
Junior. Tomorrow I was supposed to be out of town, but we might be postponing a week due to rain. So
Okay, what about the 30th?
I'll have to look here. I can't make. If I make a
Right.
decision on my wife, I will catch hell.
Hell, your wife's never yelled at you once in your
I
life.
know. Well. Okay. Oh wow. I love the interview with Hesh
Yeah, that
Shagafi.
was
Do you guys
great.
plan on any similar interviews in future?
Absolutely. One
Yeah,
of the
those
big.
are- that was
by the
my-
way,
that
guys,
was awesome.
these are the exclusive contents we're going to do for our patrons.
Mm-hmm.
Is interviews. I really love interviews. I recently had lunch with Connor Cook, the former Michigan State quarterback. He's a local guy, went to my high school, went to Seton High High School. Great guy. I thought about reaching out to him because here's a guy, his story is amazing how he went to Michigan State. It's funny, he barely got recruited, got basically one offer from a big college. Nobody else made him an offer, and then he ends up beating Ohio State twice, beating Michigan all 4 times, going to the college playoff. I mean, he had an incredible career. Went pro, played in a couple playoff games, or one playoff game. Had a great career though, and mentality is a big thing. I mean, he literally was just like, I asked him how to get recruited by Michigan State. It was basically a coach coming down to his high school to see another player, and the head coach said, "Hey Connor, why don't you come throw to this guy?" And the coach was watching him, left the room, and called D'Antoni up and said, "Hey, listen, we need to recruit this guy from Well, yeah, that's what it was. Wow. He was not being planned to be recruited. He just happened to be throwing darts to this guy."
That's crazy.
Danny's asking a real question, and this is good that we're asking this. So let me, before you guys jump on the answer, he or she says, what are good stocks to invest in if the stock market crashes? Obviously, we've been putting out some videos about this. In general, but I'll have the guys weigh in on this as well. But in general, is your job is to just, as always, we always say, dollar cost average into an ETF. Probably between 80 and 90% of your investment should be in an ETF like SPY or some Vanguard, and just keep putting it in and you'll have millions of dollars. You don't need the ups and downs of the Bitcoins and the hype train stocks. Just keep going. Am I wrong, Paul?
You are not wrong. In terms of individual stocks, buy a basket of individual stocks that fit certain parameters, like the magic formula, that are selling relatively cheap relative to their revenue and profit and assets. If you do that, you will do well over long periods of time, just sticking to that. Do not deviate from whatever plan you fucking pick. I cannot stress this enough. It makes me so angry when somebody goes, "But I don't care about your butt." I don't care if the CEO of the company comes out and says, "I've started a new jihad. I'm going to kill everybody in the world." You keep that stock until it goes to zero.
Jihad?
Yeah, I don't even know what a jihad is. The bottom line is, I should know that because I'm from the area, but I don't know what it is. The point is, I don't care what they say or do. If you have a strategy, stick to that strategy day in and day out until the time tells you, now you switch. That's it.
Well put. Can you look at PayPal? Mo, can you look at PayPal?
Sure. Overwhelmingly 85% on 74 votes.
Okay, so we're keeping the... thank you for voting, everyone. We appreciate that.
Okay.
I'm going to end the poll.
Let me answer airdrop. Where does the money from selling shares show up in the financial statements? How does it impact does not impact free cash flow or net income on an overall level. On the per share level, it does. Shares outstanding is in the financing section of the statement of cash flows. And it'll also show up on our sheets on the income statement at the very bottom, showing shares outstanding, but it's not going to affect the income statement. It'll affect the per share amounts for all the data on there. Great question.
Okay, we'll keep going. Other questions out there?
Why are Tesla starting a Taliban?
With PayPal, I think I would keep an eye on this 289.50 level. I would probably put a stop right there. If you drop below 289.50, I would just sell my position. But right now, it's kind of creating a little W formation. But if this W drops lower than here, like down in this area, under 289.50, I would exit the position. But at the same point, if it breaks out and goes and makes another all-time high with a good engulfing candlestick, just keep going with it.
Okay. Let's see. I love. So Paul, looks like we we got a gist on our firesides. We're gonna keep going with that.
I love this this thing that you're doing.
Yes,
I didn't know you could do polls here.
Going. So okay. Mo, did we looked at PayPal.
Yeah. What else? Anything else?
Oh, I'm the ugliest guy here. That sucks.
Uh-oh. Well, I mean, I just wanted to put it out there. We can really get to,
Anything else?
What is ADM? Alexander's asking for Paul. Can you pull up ADM over there? What is ADM?
And we're done here because I have a meeting very shortly.
Daniels. I have something at 3 o'clock at my house, so I'm going to be late.
You have something at 3 o'clock at your house?
Yeah.
Archer Daniels.
You know what? You know what it is? It's the electricity went out in my pavilion, and they just decided not to show up the other day. So I'm going to be late, and they can deal with it.
There's not much data on. There's only 1 year of data on Archer Daniels.
Okay, we'll wait on Archer Daniels.
Yeah, there's like nothing on it.
Okay. All right, folks. That's our take. Obviously, I won the sex poll. I mean, we knew that was going to happen. The bearded look is in, Mo. Maybe you should try and grow one. I mean, those muscles aren't really doing it for everybody.
I'm getting the beard going.
You are?
Yeah, I hate it. It's so itchy.
Does Mikey still have the beard? I forget.
Mikey still has
I
the
didn't even
beard.
notice it on him.
Yeah, he had it today.
I like the beard.
All right, everyone.
I don't like the beard on Mikey.
Thank you for your insight.
He looks homeless.
Thank you for your insight about the firesides. We'll keep that going. Tons of amazing new announcements moving forward. We hope you enjoy the app, which we delivered on a whim. Paul didn't even tell me. I mean, I saw it live with you guys, and it was fun to watch a show.
You're on a need-to-know basis, Seth, because when we tell you, then all of a sudden you're going to focus on it too much and then stop doing thumbnails and then go, why aren't thumbnails done? Where's Don? Why isn't he doing them? Too soon?
We love everyone out there. Rust and pepperoni.
You know what I'm doing right now? I'm literally swiping right now on Bumble.
That's the exclusive content you'll get from Everything Money is Paul
Guys.
swiping through sex apps. Yes, Mo?
I am going to update the Employed Trader series, but I'm not going to make a video today because there's nothing to say.
Nothing to say. Hold
Yeah.
Hold
Yeah.
Apple. Hold
yeah.
Apple.
Yeah, just keep holding. Keep holding.
Swipe, left, right,
And
left.
how am I doing on
left,
Cardinal? I still have
left,
Cardinal Health, Mo. We're staying on
left.
Cardinal Health.
Yeah, let's look at
left,
Cardinal Health while we're here.
Left, left,
keep going.
left.
I just muted him, Mo.
Yeah, so Cardinal Health is like, you see, with Cardinal Health, it's like stuck right at these moving averages. As soon as it breaks through those moving averages, it's going to be fine. And we just need volume. Look how bad the volume has been the last month.
Yucky.
So it'll get going. I'm really not worried about this one.
Okay, I'm staying in it.
Out there on Bumble.
Go ahead.
If you're a beautiful woman, but then you put a ridiculous first photo, like you going like this,
There's two beautiful women in the chat right now.
right?
Paul.
Don't give me a photo that looks like this. That's not attractive. So I'm looking at it going like, man, she looks cute. I swipe, I'm like, yeah, she is cute, but she did a stupid photo. Why did she do that?
Boy, oh boy.
Anyhow.
All right, everybody.
Left, left, left.
Thanks, everybody. I'll see you on a big show. Have a great weekend, and we will see you. We will see you soon. That's the show. Great, Paul. I love you guys. See ya.
Left is bad.